Hey, how's it going? This is Team Limited Slip. I'm the driver of the SN95 and GT500. And now I'm the proud owner of a Scion Tc. Welcome to my first episode. So let's get to it. So these are all the tools you'll need. You'll need the 5/8 socket for the spark plug. You'll need the rubber hose to pull or install the spark plug back in. An extension. A magnet. At size 10. It doesn't have to be this one, but just a size 10 where the ratchet will work as well. And I'm using the impact gun, but again, you can use a regular ratchet, but this is pretty much all the tools you'll need. The first thing you're gonna do is remove the two 10s from this cover. Just be careful not to drop the 10s. Once you remove the cover, go ahead and remove the 10s from the coil packs. When removing the coil packs, you don't have to disconnect them, just carefully place them in front of the valve cover. To avoid any kind of problem, keep the coilover plugs in the same place and the connectors in the same place. Do not mix the connectors, you will get a misfire. To remove the spark plugs, I'm using a 5/8 socket with an extension. You don't have to use an impact wrench, you can just use a ratchet, that's fine. It's just a lot faster this way. A magnet is a handy way to remove the spark plugs, but you can also use a rubber hose to pull them out. I'm going to show you in a bit when I thread them back on which hose I'm talking about. These are some old NGKs, they're worn out. So it's a good time to replace them now. I always prefer to use the original equipment. This is the Denso SK20R11s. These are the ones that it uses, they're iridium spark plugs. And here's the hose I mentioned earlier. It's always good to get a couple threads going by hand, because if you cross thread this, it's going to become a bigger issue. So make sure you always thread them in by hand first. So basically I'm using the hose to help me guide the spark plug into its place. You can use any hose that fits into the spark plug fits into. It doesn't have to be anything special. Just, so you can reach the, you don't want to drop in the spark plugs and shatter them either. So it's best to, just put them in by using this hose to turn them. Some spark plug sockets do have a little rubber thing on them that hold the spark plugs while you put them back in. Mine doesn't have that, so that's why I'm using the hose. Here's what it looks like. What I don't like about these sockets is that sometimes if you don't have the locking extension, the socket gets stuck with the spark plug inside the hole and can be a pain to remove. So that's why I still prefer to use the hose. But if you are going to use a special socket for the spark plug, make sure you get the locking extension. Here's a picture of what they look like. Try to get as many threads as you can, and then after that you can go ahead and use your ratchet or impact wrench to guide them all the way down. I'm going to torque them to a specification, which is 14 foot-pounds. I'm just using this gun to pretty much get them as close as possible to the bottom to save some time. So the spec is 14 foot-pounds. Not that I don't trust the specifications, but sometimes I just like to make sure that they're actually tight with the ratchet. I like to get the feel of it and make sure everything is nice and tight. They're pretty good so far. So that pretty much wraps up the installation of the spark plugs. Everything else is reverse order of what we did. And for the 10s, do not over tighten the 10s. I believe they take about 80 inch-pounds or 6.6 foot-pounds. So that about wraps up this video. Thank you for watching. Please stay tuned for many more TC how to do videos. And if you like racing, I actually took this TC to the racetrack at Willow Springs Raceway. So please stay tuned for that video. Thanks for watching once again, and keep on building and enjoying this hobby.